One dream and 5 different ways to get there. If you haven't heard me speak before, I'm probably a little bit more bucket list oriented sometimes than maybe some of the other staff members. We talk a lot at JGOOT about going where the deals are. I stand by that too. But I also have, like some of you may have, a list of sorts in my head of different places that I want to go and things that I want to see. And so I like to use my JGOOT skill set to kind of maneuver my way to get there. And as I've done this through the years, I've found a few key thoughts that I thought would really help you guys in terms of being able to maybe go some of the places that you want to see and still being able to do that the JGOOT way. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. So first, what I would love to see in the chat is, what is your number one bucket list destination? And you're going to see on this slide a whole bunch of countries. I would love it if you're more specific than that. I would love to know if there's like a city you really want to see, or a specific site maybe, but like I'm looking for like Paris or Rome, or what's like your number one destination. I see some countries popping up. I want you to get a little bit more specific than that.
Yeah, we'll start throwing some of these up here. A lot of countries, Fiji,
nice.
Maldives. I see that one a lot. Yep.
Yeah, I love that I'm seeing like a lot of good variety here. Like we're literally popping all over the globe right now.
Like that. That's very specific. Florence, Italy.
Yep. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Love it. Love it. Love it. This is looking like a really good list. Okay, so what I want you to do now, I want you to take the destination that you had, and if you didn't put one in the comments, you can catch up with us. But I want you to take that exact same destination, write it out again in the chat block, and then put a dash and tell me why you want to go to that place. And I want you to tell me what it is about that specific destination that made it to your bucket list. Is it the calming atmosphere? Is it the beach and the water? Is it the historical sites? Is it the scenery? Like, what is it there that is so attractive to you that put it on your bucket list? So I'm going to give you a second to do that. Beautiful.
Let's see. A lot of these are still cities. I'm trying to catch up. Very, very active here.
Yeah, very cool. Train trip. I see some about culture. I see some about the landscape.
I like this. Bike riding trails.
That's cool.
In Japan.
Very cool. Shopping and culture. Northern Lights. Yes, I love that. Venice. I was just there about a month ago. Oh, love that. Beach and surfing. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for playing along. I really appreciate getting to see all of this. And something I really love here, I wasn't sure how this was going to go. I wasn't sure if I'd see like everything in Europe or a ton of Paris, a ton of Rome. But this is amazing to see the variety of like everyone's bucket list trips and how they're literally all over the world and for different reasons. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I didn't plan this, but this is working out great for me. So, all right. Thank you so much for participating. If you're still putting them in the chat, that's wonderful. Thank you for playing along. I actually do have a couple games for you today. So like, I appreciate the participation. So what I want to get to here is like, if you have this bucket list destination in mind, a lot of times what we hear as staff is people will be asking us, how do I get to, and then fill in the blank. How do I get to this amazing place that I want to go to? Okay. So for example, one that I hear often is Santorini. I also hear Rome a lot, or Paris, or things like that. But how do I get to fill in the blank? And they just want the path to bucket list destination. What I want to present for you today is that what they really should be asking, and what I want you to be asking yourself, is what exactly am I hoping to experience in this bucket list destination? That exercise that we just went through in the comments, where I'm asking you, like, what is it about that destination that you're so attracted to? That's what I want you to be thinking of when you're starting to think about your bucket list spots and like what it is that you're wanting to go to. It's actually, what are you wanting to go do? Like, what are you wanting to experience while you're there? Okay. So for example, I'm using Santorini because I was just there last month and I know that it's a hot spot. I was there in IA and there were probably 30,000 people there that day. They told me it was going to get to 50,000 within a couple weeks. Okay. So people who want to go to Santorini, if I asked them and polled them, they're going to say things like this. They love the beautiful whitewashed cliffside villages. They love the blue domes. They love the Mediterranean food, or they want to go see the caldera and the cliffside sunsets and things like that. So these are experiences that you can experience in Santorini. Okay. But what I want you to get out of this is that destination in and of itself isn't the dream. Like, Santorini is just an idea. It's the name of the place that encompasses these experiences. So these experiences are actually the dream, and Santorini is just the name of the destination that encompasses these experiences. Okay. So what I want to help you reframe here is that most travelers are thinking in terms of a destination, build the itinerary to the destination and hope it works out. I hope I find a deal to Santorini. I hope I can get there some way, somehow. But an experienced JGOOTer is going to brainstorm down different possibilities. They're going to compare those opportunities. That's what going where the deals are is all about. And then they'll build the best version from those opportunities. Okay, so here are 5 different ways that you can make this happen. You could do a traditional vacation, which is going to be, I want to go to Santorini, therefore I'm going to go to Santorini. I'm going to pay however many gazillion dollars to fly specifically there or take a ferry. And then I'm going to stay on that island. And I'm going to pay bazooka amounts of money for a hotel resort in Ia on the cliffside. And I'm going to stay specific set of dates because that's when my kids are out of school or my husband's time off is or whatever. That's a traditional way of travel. Okay. Another way you can visit Santorini is on a cruise. There's a ton of cruisers that go through Santorini. It is a port stop. Alternative ways, you could do different timing. This is what we've talked about on a lot of Anthony's other live streams where we talk about going where the deals are and saying, okay, maybe in this season is a better time to go to the islands. Maybe it's this time of year, and that's going to create different opportunities for you just by wiggling your dates. Another way you could do this is by chasing the experience. So like, what is it about Santorini you love, and how can we create that experience? And then option 5 is a completely different itinerary. So we'll get into this a little bit more, but with Santorini in mind, for those of you who love the blue domes, or those of you who are thinking about Greece, or you've been there maybe, or you haven't been there yet. Like I said, most travelers are thinking, I need to get to Athens, for instance, because there's a big airport in Athens, Greece. Then I need to take a ferry. Then I need to stay in a hotel, and I want to do it in the summertime, and I want to stay 1 full week. Here's what I want you to do next. We're going to play a game. And what I want you to think of here, because we're talking about Santorini experience, right? So blue domes, whitewashed villages, incredible sunsets, Mediterranean food, those ocean views. I want you to think in terms of how can we make that experience happen? So going through those 5 options we just did, you have that traditional stay on Santorini, the cruise stop, the different timing that we talked about, or we can recreate the experience. So here's my challenge to you. Can you tell me in these photos, which of these islands is Santorini? One of them is, 3 of them are not. So what you're gonna do is in the chat, you're going to drop the number of the picture that you think is Santorini. So 1, 2, 3, or 4, we are testing a new feature for us where hopefully we'll get to see those numbers populate over here. But I want you to guess. And no cheating, no looking at the chat. So you guys are all waiting. You're waiting for someone else to guess. Don't do that. I want you to put it in the chat. And I did leave context clues here. There is a clue here as to which one is Santorini.
All right, they're starting to come in. It looks like so far we're favoring picture number 4, with picture number 3 reasonably close behind. Keep your guesses coming. We'll close it in just a minute here.
Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going. I want to see. Some of you guys are waiting to see what everyone else says. You know what? I can't hunt you down. I'm not going to know which one you picked. I just want you to play.
Can I phone a friend, Julie? Do I have a lifeline to use here?
There's no lifeline.
No lifelines.
Impulse
You're
in the moment. I need
own.
you to take gut reaction. Just go. Pick a number. Ready to close it?
All right. It looked like 4 kind of far and away took it here. We're going to close it down and lock in number 4 as the chat answer, Julie.
All right. Okay. Thank you for participating in the game. The answer is actually number 1. And the context clue that I gave here was the caldera itself. So it's that cliffside. If you recognize the cliffside from so many pictures of Ia is one of the most photographed villages in Santorini, then that would be how you would recognize it. But what I want you to see here, these other 3 locations are all islands with whitewashed seaside, cliffside villages in Greece. And you can't tell the difference, right? So you could also go to Paros, you could go to Naxos, you could go to Milos. All of these locations also have beautiful whitewashed cliffside villages, and they're in Greece. So instead of flooding into Ia with the tens of thousands of other people who are going to see the blue domes, you could go enjoy a much more relaxed cliffside destination. Hey, if you were right, kudos, bragging rights. That's amazing. It's pretty hard to tell. Yeah. Yep. All right. Perfect. Kudos to those of you who got it right. What I want to show you here is on the left, that is my husband and I in Ia on the island of Santorini. Ia is the really well-recognized whitewashed village on the cliffside that has the blue domes. You can see one of the blue domes in the background to the left, and the other 2 are very tiny in the far back of that picture on the left side. I had to wait 35 minutes to take that photo in a line of people trying to get down to where these railings are and stuff so that you can take a photo in front of the blue domes. On the right side was actually my favorite island that I went to in Greece. This is Rhodes. This area is in Old Town on Rhodes, and it's a secret garden garden type of little destination in Old Town. Old Town's incredibly historical, lots of beautiful architecture, amazing little rooftop cafes and restaurants and things like that. Really easy to meander and just like relax. You can go shopping, you can take beautiful, beautiful photos. So my intention here is to show you that there's a lot more than just that bucket list destination that's actually probably going to create what could possibly be a stressful experience for you. Not to say that EA is not amazing. I know it is. I've been there. It's incredible. But there's a lot of incredible places in Greece. And I don't want you to limit yourself when what we're really looking to create is the experience, okay?